Hey Mario, welcome to the build stream. The build show. I know, it's the day after that nice, long holiday. But we gotta get back to the grind where we build PCs. Tonight's build is actually gonna be a pretty quick stream, so for those of you who are watching right now, the start to finish, it's gonna be a lot faster than our normal build. And I'll show you why. This build is for a local customer who reached out and was looking for a solid PC for some basic computing. So nothing graphic intensive, no gaming, any crazy gaming anyway. Basically all web-based and Excel spreadsheets is mostly what they're focused on. So we went with integrated graphics for this build. So it's basically going to be a really nice office PC is mostly what it's going to be designed to do. So we've got our, we'll go from top to bottom on the specs and we'll get building it, shall we? I don't only build gaming PCs, by the way. So this one's for Vicky. Vicky, thank you for making the purchase. I don't know why that's super small in the top corner there. Right there. I'll have to fix that when I fix it. But Vicky, this is for you, your build that we're going to be doing today. So starting from the top down, we have the CPU, which is an Intel i5 13600K, which has got 14 cores, which is 6 performance cores and 8 efficiency cores, and has 20 threads and a maximum boost of 5.1 gigahertz. So super awesome processor to run with the Intel integrated graphics, which is I think the 700 series, the UD8 or UHD graphics 770 from the B760 and the Intel i5 13600K processor between the two. The board is handling the connections, the processor is the actual APU. The motherboard is the MSI B760 VC Wi-Fi. It says it's 4. The IV. I don't know what they mean by that, but it's we were going to go with a Gigabyte B760X-AX, but it was going to take too long to get here, and, well, this is a great board also. So, that's the only change in the order is, instead of the Gigabyte B760, we went with an MSI B760. Not a big difference there. Just a brand. Cooling the CPU, we're going to be running a Peerless Assassin 120 SE. There's no RGB on this build, so it's going to be completely blacked out. The RAM that we're running is the DDR5 Ripjaws S5 series by G.Skill. It's got 32 gigs of DDR5, 6000 MHz CL30. So that's two 16 gig sticks here. And then we also have a 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe Gen 4 SSD, which has read writes up to 7400 megabits per second and 6500 for the read and write. And this is a Team Group MP44. This thing's a beast, super fast drive. We're looking for one. We also have the LGA 1700 bracket for the Intel i5. We're going to be powering it with a 500 watt power supply because we really don't have the need to power much here other than just the CPU and the motherboard. That's it. So outside of that, we're going to be putting this in a Zellman i4 case, which is an airflow mesh case. Means the front, and you've seen me building this before a couple of times, but the front is mesh and the side panel is a mesh panel. So it's pure airflow. And we are going to be utilizing the 6 included 120 millimeter fans that are included with the case, because we didn't want to spend some extra money on fans. So we put it all into the horsepower. And those fans will last a good couple of years before we should hear any issues about them anyway. Because fans have a lifetime, how many rotations, etc., spins. That's how I always explain it. Basically, the cheaper the fan, the less spins you have on its lifetime before the bearings have issues. So, without further ado, let's get building, shall we? All right. I'm going to move some of this out of the way. Not much really to move out of the way, but we'll just move that. And we'll get started with the CPU, the motherboard, and the RAM. How's everybody's Tuesday treating them? The day back to work after the nice long weekend. Alright, so we'll get a nice zoom here on the motherboard while we do the installation of the CPU, the RAM, and the SSD, and the cooler. And then all we got to do is drop that into a case, plug everything in, plug a power supply in, and we should be good to go. But like I said, it's going to be a pretty quick stream, or pretty quick build. There we are. Compliments of Edward. Alright, so we're going to drop the CPU in here. This is our Intel i5 13600K that we're going to be building with. That's interesting. Oh, no. There it is, our i5 13600K and its packaging. And we're going to lift these brackets up and drop the CPU in place, and we're going to use the CPU as basically a pin protector as we do the next step, which is replace the actual bracket. Drop the CPU in place, and then we're going to this open. Replace it with an LGA 1700 contact frame by Thermalright. And really, all you have to do to remove this is remove the 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to pull the 2 brackets that are here, and then we're going to drop in our new Thermalright bracket over the top and reuse the screws. It's important, really, not to move the board after you loosen these screws or remove the screws, because there is a bracket on the back side that is lined up perfectly on the holes. So keep the board in place, don't move it around. It'll make the job easier. Move the screws. This is a little Torx wrench, comes with the bracket. This little Torx wrench is included with the bracket. Makes the job even easier, so you don't have to source one. Although I have a couple of these actually sitting around. I just use it because it's here as an example. So I'm going to remove the screws from the other brackets that we just removed, and then we're going to drop the bracket in place. And again, I'm not moving the board around so that these holes are lined up with the bracket on the other side, which is important. I'm just going to drop each of the screws into the hole, like so, and then we're going to use our tool, tighten it up. And I'm going to do half a turn, or full turn actually. That way we get it started, and I can feel that it started. But then I'll do 1 turn here, 1 turn here, another turn here, and another turn here. Basically, I'm going to do this evenly across all 4 screws. All right, those are all good. So now that we have that installed, we can go ahead and move on to the RAM. We're going to be putting the 2 sticks that we have, which is by G.Skill Ripjaws S5 series, 32 gigabytes of DDR5, 6000 megahertz CL30. We're going to be dropping this in slots A2 and B2. I'm going to pull it out of its packaging, line it up, let it drop into place, and thumb on the top and thumb on the bottom, push it down until it clicks in. The other way you can determine is these little clips on the side go inward, and then you know it's in place. Alright, last but not least here, I'm going to peel this guy off that slot. So we're going to install our M.2 NVMe SSD, which is a Team Group MP44 Gen 4 SSD. And there it is, our SSD. Hey, what's up, Steve? Got my Raspberry Pi 4 working last. I had it hooked up to a 2006 Dell monitor. Anyone say retro gaming? Yeah, that's retro gaming right there. I have that old Alienware that I'm still supposed to do. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, but I made a post about the old Alienware from 2003 that we haven't quite decided what we want to do with it, but I think I'm going to rebuild it into a modern PC and add some RGB to it, modernize it basically, and also add a pretty cool, I have a couple of cool ideas for it as well around the Alienware topic. And there is our M.2 NVMe SSD. I'm going to go ahead and put the other stud on the board so it doesn't get misplaced, and if she ever asks me to upgrade her storage, I'll have an M.2 stud and screw already on the board, and it won't go missing. So it's there, ready to receive another SSD in the future. That was down here. Sorry, I didn't realize that it was off frame. But right there, that little guy. Alright, so let's get a little bit of a zoom out, because we're going to be working on the cooler next, and this is a pretty large cooler for the beast. Since the CPU is going to be acting as the processor and the graphics card, the APU, we have a Thermalright Peerless Assassin. So a fairly large cooler, but that's to keep this thing running nice and chill, so that it can keep up with whatever Vicky's going to be doing with it. It'll keep up with it for sure. All right. Thanks for helping me get us our first PC. No problem, man. Happy to help. Steve, cooler. Or no, Steve, after the stream, I will check it out. Yes, check it out. It's actually an older post now, but if you scroll down, you'll find it. But it's a green Alienware from 2002. Currently, it does not post, but I think it's a graphics card issue, and unfortunately, it uses an AGP graphics card, which I don't have any of those anymore. Like, I didn't think I was ever going to use an AGP graphics card again, so I got rid of them, you know? And here I am looking for an AGP graphics card all of a sudden, and they're just terribly overpriced online. So I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure we're just going to rebuild this. If we're going to do anything with it. Or we sell it as is. And just give it to somebody who wants to do something with it. But it's one of the old school Alienwares pre-Dell. So this would be before Dell purchased Alienware. You know. It'll keep it cool while you're on eBay. Yeah, it'll stay nice and cool while on eBay. You can have probably 25 eBay tabs open with no problem here on this PC. So if you're doing eBay auctions, you won't have a problem with this thing. If you're anything like me, where I have 5,000 Google tabs open at 24/7, even while I stream, then you'll enjoy this. Alright, those brackets are on there, so we're ready to drop the cooler on. Our current computer is like dial-up. Well, hopefully this solves that problem. Pretty sure it will. I want to be running dial-up speeds. Or life is too precious to wait for it. Peel this guy off right here. And we're going to drop some thermal paste on the CPU. This is what transfers the off of the CPU onto the cooler. I'm not worried about over pasting because of that bracket. It'll clean when we go to wipe it sometime in the future. Alright. Get our... Whoa. Didn't see that, did you? Get our longer screwdriver out. There. Get these started on the studs. Go. CPU cooler is mounted. Some giant idiot. Like, I like drawing a star with a tasty paste. Hey, did you hear that you should not be inhaling or sniffing the thermal paste? You should not be doing that, no matter how good it smells or tastes. Do not lick, taste, eat, ingest. You should not also be smelling, sniffing the thermal paste. That's a new one for me. She turns it on and it goes to make breakfast or some other tasks, and it's still loading. That is kind of lame. And it is also lame that you should not sniff thermal paste. No, there was actually a company, I can't remember which company it was. Was it Asus? I think it was Asus with their handheld, kind of like the Steam Deck, whatever you call that thing, by Asus. Or was it the Steam Deck? Was a Steam having to send out a actual notice saying, because somebody had called or emailed their support and said, hey, I like sniffing it, is it bad for me to sniff it? And they had to say, yes, it is bad for you to sniff it, though we cannot say you can't do it, or should. We recommend that you do not do it. This is basically what it was. Kind of like, okay, somebody actually contacted their support, wasted their time saying, could I sniff this, even though it should be common sense. It's probably not safe or, you know, healthy for you to sniff burning chemicals. Sometimes, you know, you meet special people out there. Dang it. Guys, you didn't remind me to remove this song. I should just do it right now. I was supposed to remove this song from the playlist. I never noticed a door. I never noticed a door. What do you mean by that? Oh, you never noticed an odor. Gosh. It's not that it's an odor. I guess there's like a heat smell that comes out of it. The vent. And somebody actually contacted their support. I think it was Gamers Nexus that covered this on one of their journalist videos. It was pretty funny. Either that or it was Paul's Hardware. I just about fell out of my chair. Not healthy. Since we don't really have, you know, any major RGB. Y'all think I can get away with that? Can't even notice it. I'm being nice. Just doing, dodging your current paperweight. She's my paperweight. Oh, nice. I think she's being nice, right? Or are you just saying be nice to the computer that she's replacing? Does the computer even know it's being replaced? Like, did you use the computer to make the payment? And did it see that it was being replaced with the new computer? Like, that would be an ultimate, like, you're a piece of crap. You're being replaced, and I'm using you to replace it. Alright. Here we go. Let's get the case out. And then we'll drop this motherboard into the case. As you can see, they completely mesh front and side panel. All mesh, all airflow. We're missing a couple of studs. We got to put those in. I used my phone. She's safe still. So the computer has no idea it's coming. Computers will know it's being replaced soon. The AI revolution is a predecessor. Terminator. It's coming. The computer will know someday with AI and it won't like it. The computer will rise up and take over everything. Exactly. It won't want to end up in a landfill. Funny enough, I was actually rewatching Haters, all of them. I don't think the computer appreciates the fact that it's being replaced. But you could be like, you had one job, eBay. Now you'll be able to eBay so fast. I don't think it'll help get the packages. You'll at least be able to eBay faster. Couldn't miss out on a bid. Dropping this in. Like it was meant to be. Fits so perfectly. The computer on a hot day in July will shut off the air conditioning and kill us with heat. I don't think it'll. Not yet. Why bother with that when it has access to things like car? I mean, if it shuts off the AC, it's putting itself in danger. But that would be a good movie if we had Alexa go rogue or somebody like that. That'd be an interesting movie. Movie's name's called Smart Home or Alexa. Last screw. There we go. Motherboard is mounted. All right, let's get some of these connectors plugged in here. Got a few. Hmm? snow. We go. We got all of these connections down here, which is our front panel HD audio, our front panel USB, front panel power button, and our front panel USB 3.0, as well as our fans that are daisy chained for all 6 of them, all plugged in. So next up, all we have is a power supply drop in here. Got to do a little bit of cable management. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll be pretty much ready to fire this bad boy up. Anyway, hey Lucas, I guess we meet again. I don't know if your mic is muted or you're not speaking. No, sorry, I was talking to Mrs. Empower because my 3-year-old is arguing with me about going outside in the rain naked while I'm trying to build a computer over here. So trying to tell Mrs. Empower that we need to get the 3-year-old from and keep her in the house clothed so she doesn't go outside in the rain naked. Hashtag PC Builder Dad. Hey, what's up, Army Vet? Yo! Rain showers bring naked kids. Exactly. Well, she wants to go jump in muddy puddles like Peppa Pig. All right? So if you guys are familiar with Peppa Pig, she jumps in muddy puddles. The character from Peppa Pig likes to jump in muddy puddles. Muddy puddles. And she wants to go do that. But I'm not willing to go outside and get wet and jump in the muddy puddles while it's raining. I'll do that after it's raining, but not while it's raining. So yeah, my mic was muted, Lucas. Mic was temporarily muted. What are the specs on this one? This one is a Intel i5 13600K. The B760 by MSI. Got 32 gigs of DDR5 memory. Unholy crap. 1 terabyte SSD and a 500 gig or 500 watt power supply. And it is it's mostly just an office PC. In this case is a Xeon i4 mesh, which has a mesh side panel and a mesh front panel with 6 fans. So it's pure CPU, APU performance and storage and RAM performance, mostly for web browsing and daily use. So I do build more than just gaming PCs. A lot of people don't know that. But I have a lot of office pieces built by me out there running. That's because we build them right. Even if they're just for the office. Why am I struggling to get this plugged in? The cooler is so big, I can't get my fingers down there. There we go. We got it, finally. We got it. Not that we even need that plugged in, but I did, just in case. Just in case Vicky decides that she wants to overclock one day, she can. My friend is building a PC and he's getting RTX 3060 and Ryzen 7 5700X with 32 gigs, 5200 megahertz for 900. Is that good? Yeah, that's a good price for it, for the hardware. I run a business out of my home. Oh yes, that's right. You do run your business. And a nonprofit. Holy smokes. Busy. So yeah, you'll definitely be able to run more efficiently with this PC, I believe. Yeah. Then, you know, the time that you're wasting waiting for things to load, if it takes it that long to fire up where you turn it on and you go make breakfast and you come back, that's a little too long. It's 2024. We don't wait for our hardware waits for us. Or should. But Lucas over on Twitch, yes. $900 is pretty good if that's US dollars. So I'm sorry if I forget which, because I get a lot of people from other countries that come in here and hang out and chat with us too. So if I got that wrong, I'm sorry. But $900 US dollars is a pretty good fair price for that. I would say though, what's your best dad joke? Usually my best dad jokes come within the moment. So if something's happening, that dad joke just comes on. That's usually where my best stuff comes from. I don't have like a set list of default dad jokes other than your typical dad jokes, which you've probably already heard. 3 elves walk into a bar. The hobbits walk under. Why would the hobbits walk under? All right, let's go ahead and finish up this cable management. Then we will fire it up for the first time. Yes. Gotta work some of these cables. Pain in the ass. Done. Knock, knock. They didn't want to hit their head on the bar. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, ah. Wee little buggers. Who's there? CPU cooler. Sorry, I missed those comments from a couple of minutes ago. Sorry about that. Hey all. Cable management sucks. Oh, thanks. My favorite channel. I need to invent Bluetooth electricity, so we need, so you can do away with cables. Well, I mean, Project Zero by MSI is interesting, but yeah, that would be nice. No cables to deal with. That would make the build like 15-20 minutes long, maybe. It would be a lot easier. The CPU is a Intel i5-13600K, and the cooler is a Thermalright Peerless Assassin. Ain't this that guy on Twitch? Yes, this is the same guy. I stream to all of the platforms, Lucas. Stream everywhere. All right. Time to snippety snip, and then we power it up to see if we get a post. But is that cable management clean? Clean enough for you? Should be pretty clean. I did it. Thank you, sir. Clean. Awesome. Put this back panel on. Ollie? There it is. Ready to run a business. Well, we still have to install Windows in it. But the hardware should be ready. Let's go ahead and fire it up and see what it looks like. By the way, the side panel I would put on, but it's glass, is a mesh panel, so you won't be able to see much. Beautiful mesh panel. Pure airflow. I'll go ahead and scan this bad boy up, and I'll get you guys a side view. One second. All right, side profile view coming. We all wish my cameras would be where they're supposed to be, but they never are. Here we go. Cool and quiet. And we've got a post. Post is power on self-test. That is the first test the computer does every time it turns on to ensure that all the components are plugged in properly and functional. And once it posts, then it moves on to the BIOS, and the BIOS will then say, hey, do we have an operating system, to the storage? And the storage will say, no, we don't. So then it'll go back to the BIOS. Start the Windows setup. I'm not going to make any changes in the BIOS yet because we're going to do a BIOS update anyway. So there's no point on us making a change to the BIOS because, right now anyway, because, well, we're going to be doing the BIOS updates, go wipe it clean anyway. But there we have it. We have it built. It's running. Yay. You can at least see the fan spinning. The exposure's kind of dark. Usually I have this camera set up to stare at a, really bright RGB. Alright, we're installing Windows. Go super fast. And then we gotta do the driver installs, and then we'll move on to BIOS update, battle test everything, and we should be ready to pick up as early as tomorrow, as long as everything goes well. There we have it. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I am going to end it probably here, because nobody wants to sit here and watch paint dry, such as Windows install and whatnots. But for the most part, we are good to go. We should have this ready for pickup sometime tomorrow, so keep a lookout on your email for the pickup email. That should be coming to your inbox here tomorrow. I'll also send a note to your daughter, Missy, who's also in the chat, just so she's aware. I like paint. Well, I mean, maybe I'll do better if I start a stream that watches paint dry. Would you watch it if we started that? Hey, have a good night, Army Vet. Thanks for hanging out again. And love the streak you've got going there. This man's probably watched every build stream we've done. Almost. Ah, yes. Nice. Well, personally, I would not watch my own stream if it was paint drying. That'd be such a troll stream. Hey, here's a pink paint drying. Play some music. I don't know. Put some games up. make it so that you could graffiti the wall, have it disappear for after so many minutes. Ah, that's an idea. Well, all right, guys, I'm gonna get to finishing up this PC, and I don't know when we're gonna have a next build stream, but probably later this week we'll do another build stream. I'm down to again, done with customer builds as of right now anyway. More could be coming. I've got a pile of estimates that I have to write, but I do have a couple of PC flippers that I got to do. So these are PCs or components that I've gathered up to put together for flipping. So bought them for really good deals, which makes it so I can make a little bit of a profit and hand some savings off to the new owner, and also spice it up, make it look and run a little better than what it was. So that will probably be the next stream. I also want to start doing a YouTube series on that, as well as a YouTube video series on the green Alienware from 2003 that we want to redo and turn it into a modern PC. So all cool stuff. That'll all be on the YouTube channel, but the streams, we stream regularly on all of them. So probably late in the week, I'd say Thursday or Friday is going to be our next stream. It feels early in the week. It feels like Monday, and it's not. It's Tuesday. I keep forgetting that. But have a good night, guys. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. We'll see you on the next stream. Happy hump day tomorrow. All right, take care, guys. Have a good night.